Hey everybody, it's John in the workshop. We're going to be working on something fun today, and finally I've got somebody with me again who hasn't been with me for a long time. Who is it?
Henry.
Henry's back with me again. What are we working on today, Henry?
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. Alright, so we're back to do a little bit of work on Baby Yoda. We're going to try and get him mostly ready to go, at least to a passable point, so that he indeed looks like Baby Yoda. And so let's take a look at the body and the feet and the arms, modeled fantastically by Sean Fields of Project 842. And I just want to give you guys a good look at the articulation on Baby Yoda's body. Primarily at the arms. The legs essentially just can bend up and down. Other degrees of motion that you have is the head twisting. You have twisting of the arm this way around, and then you have motion at the wrist. So we're going to put together one of the arms. It's not terribly a big deal. I think at 100% scale, Sean has it modeled so that 3mm hardware works perfectly. Since I scaled it down a little bit, I went to the hardware store, and since I'm in the US, I picked up standard size hardware because I got some 440 screws. We're going to use those. We're going to first get the motion of the arm twisting done. And all we're going to do, and all this is set in the model already. The holes are already there for you. I'm just going to open them up a little bit to accept the hardware that I'm using. And we're going to put a screw through the top of that shoulder joint, down through the arm. And basically, by threading and unthreading the lower portion of the arm on that screw, you're going to get that motion twisting side to side. Don't look, Baby Yoda. This won't hurt that much, I swear. Is it going to hurt?
No.
No? It's kind of like my surgery I had last year.
No, it's not. It's not.
They used a drill just like this for mine.
Did they actually?
They did use a drill just like this, but bigger. I don't remember. I wasn't awake, but that's what they used.
Did they do that?
Yeah, they totally did that. We're just going to put a screw right through the shoulder joint into here. So I'm going to put some glue down here because we don't want this screw to rotate when we're moving the arms. Turn to the right. All right, cool. So while you do that, we're going to look at the hand. But Sean doesn't have it all modeled up real nice. You can fit a nut in the side, and it's going to be captive in the model and not spin when you go to tighten something up. So we're just going to open this up a little bit. Putting the last screw into Baby Yoda's arm here. Hey Henry, how many screws did I get put in my leg? I had that last year. 6.
I felt like 100.
It felt like 100, I'll tell you that. We've got another arm. And we've got good motion in there. I'm going to stick that back on the body. And then we're going to move on to something else, Henry. What do you think we're going to do next?
The eyes.
We had 2 versions of the eyes. I wasn't quite happy with the first one, so yeah. So I went on to a second version, which was this. It's very simple. It had the base of the creepy eye. I took that, I put it in a belt sander. I filed this guy down until this iris and pupil were gone, and then a little bit further. And I got some bear eyes from the doll making section at Joann's, and just altered them a little bit. Now the iris and pupil weren't quite right, so I took some black paint. I made the pupil a little bit larger than it was because you barely see any of the iris on Baby Yoda. You see a bit of the brown depending on the lighting on there, but most of the time you don't see a ton of it. So made that bigger. Took the creepy eyeball that I had shaved down, put a hole in it, put a little extra paint around on the white of the eye here, so that we just see darkness, brown on the outside here, so that we don't, because we don't see really a whole lot of the white of the eye on Baby Yoda. And that was the second version after the creepy eyeball version. And then lastly, after spending all that time looking around online at eyes, I found that most of them really are just based off of these glass domes that have curvature to them with a printed eye essentially on the back of them. So I went to Google, I found a nice iris and pupil, threw it in a photo editing software, and I made the pupil bigger, printed it out on the inkjet at home. Take my glass bead, there is the name for it, and I can't remember what the hell it is right now, and I don't want to try it out because I'm just going to sound even more stupid than saying I don't remember what it is. Take that, that goes over your printed eyeball, and when you look at it, depending on how the light is on there and how clean that glass is on there, the effect is pretty darn good, and it's going to do what we really want to do in this case. So I'm going to throw both of those eyes into the head here. I haven't finished final paint on here, but here's where I'm at on the painting. And if you saw the photos earlier today, you had a look at it, and some of the ones last night while I was doing it. This is just base paint, really. It's done with an airbrush. I'll put a link or a card in here to the airbrush kit that I use that I did a review on a long time ago, 2+ years, and my cheap airbrush is still going. That's what I use every day that I'm doing work on stuff. And for paint, I needed a bunch of greens, I needed some flesh tones, and Hobby Lobby, I bought the 79-cent acrylic craft paint. Take your airbrush thinner, thin it out a ton, and thin it out before you put it in the airbrush, and spray different colors. I started with the limiest of greens, and then worked my way up from the lighters to more dark greens through the way to get to this base coat. And it's not just a matter of dumping paint on an entire thick coat on there, and then another thick coat of the next color, and then so on and so forth. It's just randomizing where the paint is on here so that you have variations in the color, because flesh has variations in color. Baby Yoda on the whole is a little bit more limey as far as the green color goes than Yoda is, but I think as a base we're in a pretty good place with that. So let's throw the eyes in there. You can see what those look like. Alright, so there's our two eyes. The second version and the third version made with the printer and the glass dome, which I think the glass dome one is probably going to be the winner. It seems that the eyes on Baby Yoda really fill out the socket a little bit better than and these ones fill it out better than this does. I think either way you can't really go wrong, and either way it costs like $2 to make and about 10 minutes to do. The files again are available. Link will be down in the description through the kindness of Sean Fields at Project 842. And again, remember that if you use the files and make yourself a Baby Yoda, that you go ahead and you follow through on what Sean's asking. And all he's asking is if you make one, use the files, go ahead and make a donation to something like a toy drive, a giving tree at your mall, whatever it might be, something that's going to help benefit kids and kids in need this holiday season. So go ahead and do that. And once you do that, go ahead and tag on social media, maybe a photo of the toy you've donated or whatever you've done, and use the hashtag ToyDrive842 on social media. Give me a second. I'm going to throw a couple things together here. We're going to come back and we'll get things wrapped up and give you a nice look at Baby Yoda as he is. He's looking a lot more like himself now. I really like the way the eye looks. That right eye, his right eye, is that new way of doing it, and I think the effect is pretty darn good, and we're going to call it good enough for now. Alright, so we got the head back on the body. The head keys on real nicely to the body, locks into place, and then is articulated so you can rotate it back and forth. And the other thing that I wanted to draw, make note of too, is that I did print the ears, because I'm really happy with the way it worked out, is the ears were printed on the Anycubic Photon and the Nova Clear resin. And the reason for that, and my hope for that, was that when I painted, if I took it easy on the paint, that the ears would still be translucent enough so that light could pass through them, and it works perfectly, and it looks really, really, really awesome. Let's do one more thing. I think we'll do one more part of this, and that'll be that. We will make a trench coat. We'll do some final paint on the next one. If you guys want to have a third part of the video, make sure you let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. We're getting close to 2,000 subscribers now, which is really awesome. This little guy's been very popular so far too. So thank you very much to those of you that have watched the video and shared it, and all the rest. I do appreciate it very much. So I'm going to get him a little bit of clothing on, because almost Thanksgiving here in Chicago, and it's a little cold outside, so we don't want him to catch a chill. Just for the sake of progress, we're going to throw on a little coat real quick. There we go. He's got a little bit of a start of his Yoda trench, as we might call it. Alright, thanks to Sean for these incredible models. This has been a really fun project that's almost done. As always, he's a great enabler when it comes to printed projects, because he is ridiculously prolific when it comes to putting models out. And all of them are just absolutely cool and things that I want to make. So thank you, Sean. Thanks for sharing this with the community. Thanks to you guys for watching. And be sure, again, let me know if you want to see a part 3 on this, where we finish up little baby Yoda. We still got 3 more days till episode 4 comes out of The Mandalorian. Be sure and check that out. Have fun. It's John, 9142 Props and Armory, saying thank you much. Bye.